Okay, so what else do we have in common? Well, we pretty much all tie our shoes. Something basic, basic. Things that we share in common. Kindergarten, grade 1, first grade. A long time ago in a previous lecture, I said, or maybe it was Bob Ross. I think it was Bob Ross, the Enlightenment guy. He said, if you want a world to ascend to the fifth dimension, you got to go back to what you learned in kindergarten and grade 1. What's the main thing they teach you there? Sharing. Sharing. And the old Guess Who song, Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman, share the land. Private ownership of land, especially, is a huge hurdle for us. And that is what I got to bring up. The private ownership of land has got to be abolished. I'm going to get a lot of people fighting me on this because they don't want to give up what they got. Or they're going to say, well, if they're an economist, they're going to say, well, you got the free rider problem, which is something they used to experience way back in medieval England, where they had a common place to graze your sheep. And the problem was, well, overgrazing. So it wasn't organized. Led to a lot of problems. And Scotland was all that way. It was all in a common area for sheep grazing. And then things changed. They fenced off all the lands and they kicked a lot of the Scots off their lands. The lands they traditionally inhabited. And they said, it's private now. Sorry. And that's why there's so many Scottish people in North America and Australia, because they were kicked out. If you're kicked off the land you were born on, it seems to me that is a sign of enormous wrongness. And, you know, the native North American people, South American people, the Aborigines in Australia, well, they were bulldozed, and everyone knows these stories. How do we make it right? Do we give it back? Not exactly. Not exactly. We can't give it back, because if you give it back, well, what about the people that were born in these places that, you know, their ancestors came and immigrated there and they were born there now? So it seems like we can't really go and give it back because it's not fair to the people who are born there today. I'm going to continue more and more saying we got to work on a new way of organizing land on the planet. We seem to have great concentrations of people in enormous megacities. We seem to have a lot of corporations that seem to own a lot of the land. Who is going to go and strip all of these corporations and private landowners of their land titles? It ain't going to be me. Is it a miracle? I just got a beep on that. We need a miracle. How do you become part of the miracle? Simply you wanting that. Your intention is, we're going to reorganize planet Earth, top to bottom, throwing away everything that doesn't serve the greater good of all. Some people will say, well, the greater good is served because a lot of this corporate land is used for growing food for the people in the mega cities. It's a big trouble to go and reorganize a planet as huge as ours with as much complexity as ours. And I can't do it alone, and I can't do it even with you. I have to have a miracle. How am I going to get my miracle? Extraterrestrials are going to come in and help us? I don't see extraterrestrials around me. Creative solutions. We got to create a new world that we can all move to. Sounds like balderdash. And yet we still have the problem. Too many people? Question mark. What else? It's never going to be my decision. I'm not going to force you to agree with me, and I'm not going to change my mind. Stalemate. Mexican standoff. I don't get what I want. I'm getting a big honk on that. What else can be done? Going back to my earlier lectures on the idea that everything you experience is thought form. And the row, row, row your boat, life is but a dream. We need new thought forms to appear to us as physical reality. How's that going to happen? Who's going to do it? Sounds like woo-woo cuckoo to me. Simply ride your truck. Now you've got me confused. Riding your truck means simply don't worry about it. Have the intention that this is going to happen and let go of how it happens. The old teachings always say, put it out to the universe what you want and let the universe deliver it in its own fashion, its own way, its own timing. Let go and let God. If you don't believe in God, I guess we're kind of screwed. No, it's still, a universe. Some people say a multiverse. Let's stick with a universe, which means one reality. I feel like I'm digging myself into a hole that I can't get out of. I mean, we're talking about going from the third to the fourth to the fifth dimension. Aren't those three different things? Is there like another dimension of Earth? Some people say so. Some say that our heavenly version of Earth already exists. Bert Goldman and his ideas of quantum jumping means it's already there. We just have to quantum jump into that reality. That sounds really crazy. It's never going to be necessary to understand how it can be done. You get too bogged down, too much worrying about it, too much trying to control outcomes. All we need to have is a clear intent, a group intent, that we want to have heaven on earth. I keep coming back to that. In my heaven on earth, there's no money economy. It is a gift economy. It is sacred economics, Charles Eisenstein. That is one option of how it could be done by a very smart man. Is it the only option? God knows. But because Charles Eisenstein has put it out in a logical fashion, it means that there is at least one way it can be done. So it can be done. I close my case saying, follow your truck. What does it mean again? Ride your truck. Move your feet and see where your feet take you. Stay moment to moment. Be in your little 3-second reality. This is where I am now. This is where I am now. This is where I am now. And you're still always in the present now. Now is the only time that you actually experience. Everything else is either memories or it's projections of what the future might be like. The greatest wisdom teachers that ever lived have always said the same thing. Be here now. Very simple. Thank you for watching. I'm Bob Frizzell, the producer of The Reality Game, the Reality Game movie, and The Dreamer. Thank you for watching.